All right, so now that you have the power and data and the switching in, you need to go and double check your other plans to see what's on in them. So in my dimension plan here now, all of a sudden I've got my outlets. So I'm just going to pick and my switches, and so I'm just going to pick one of the outlets and type VH, right? And it's going to turn that off. This is actually a data device, this phone, so I'll type that and do VH, and that will hide those in my dimension plan. So you don't want those on in your dimension plan. And then if I go to the furniture plan, it's the same thing, so VH, right? And then if I go to my power and communication, it's up to you in the power and communication if you want the switches here. They're not gonna, this one is going to the outlet, so you might need a switch here. If you don't need the switches, you can always come in, and if you try to hide them, everything goes away because they're on the same category as the outlets. So you would need to do something to just turn the switches off, right? So you would need to find, you can actually do that, but you need to find a parameter that all the switches share. So I'm only using one switch, but I know that if I come down and I do a search and just, that all of my family, so this is the family and that is the type. So family, type, family, type. All of my families have the word switch in them. You see the word switch? So I could use the word switch as the family name to filter out these switches. So to turn them off, I would put a filter on this view. So I'm going to go to my visibility graphics, VV, go to my filters, and I'm going to add a filter. I have a switches on one. We'll look at that in a minute, but I'm going to do a switches off one. So if I go to edit new, I can make a new, and I'll just call this switches off. And so what I need to do is isolate just the switches so I can turn them off. And so I need to go down and grab the electrical fixtures. And again, make sure in this filter list that the electrical is checked or it won't show up, right? So let's go down and grab the electrical fixtures. And we want to grab the family. So go to the family name. And we're going to say the family name contains, and I'm just going to type in switch. Okay. And I'll click OK. And then I'll add that, right? Whoops. Oh, it switches off. Let's remove that one. And add switches off. Okay. Let's remove that one. All right. So now that we have that, I should be able to come in here and turn the visibility off and hit apply, and just the switches go off now, right? It just isolated the switches using that little visibility graphics option. Okay, so you can do that. Now, if you wanted one switch to show up, then you would actually have to go in and individually pick the switches and hide them by element, right? Which is a little, or you would have to change the family name of this one to, you know, something else so it would not hide. So it's up to you. So um, so let's take a look at the RCP. I haven't gotten to that one. My level 2 schematic. So again, these guys, VH, just going in and getting rid of what I don't want. And take a look at this guy. That's just a big old mess. I can't be using that, I don't think. And then this is the blue one. And let's just VH those guys out of there. Oh, this one is controlled by a view template over here. So in order to get that to turn off, I would have to click on the view template. Let's go ahead and just release it from that view template. And then I can pick and VH. So just get rid of that stuff, and I don't really want these in here. Again, if this one you wanted to have this one in here, then you would either have to filter this out or just select it and right click on it and go to hide and view elements, right? And it'll get rid of it. So it just depends. And then let's go to the RCP. And then in this one, I don't want the outlets, right? So if I go to my visibility graphics and I go to filters, there's the switches on, right? Um, and thank you. And this leaves the switches on. I could actually rename it, like if I edit new this, let's take a look at it. So the switches on leaves the switches on. If I rename this, I could just say outlets off, right? If that made more sense. So outlets off. Okay. Um, And so with the outlets off, what it does is it is the electrical fixtures and the family name. And remember last time we did contains switch, and this time we do not contain, does not contain switch. So it picks everything but the families that have the switches. And then you can turn the outlets off and leave the switches on, right? So that's that.